Hello friends, welcome to the 16th episode of our series Parenting One Step at a Time. In the previous episode, we talked about the art of storytelling. In this episode, we are going to talk about two important topics that every child experiences on daily basis, and that is boredom. The second topic that we will be discussing is just opposite of boredom, and that is channelizing your kids' curiosity. So are you ready to discuss these two topics? Before I get into them, let me introduce myself to all the first-time listeners. I'm Alpana Dev, I'm your host. I'm a published author of A Girl in the New Town, a blogger at mothersgurukul.com, a freelance content creator, and a mother of two lovely kids who are my greatest source of inspiration for all my parenting posts, articles, and now podcast. Welcome to Mother's Gurukul podcast. Do you know that sometimes boredom is important for our kids? We hear these words zillions of times. Mommy, I'm bored. What should I do? I'm done with my work. Now what? And we don't have answer to their questions, or should I say boredom. It's funny that when kids are young with limited understanding, they never face this so-called boredom. They explore the world in their own way and always find something or other to keep themselves busy. But when they grow old and they have more options, boredom strikes them very easily. The constant stimulation of today's reality makes arriving at that place of stillness, which is really challenging for a lot of kids. Screens are everywhere and become a mind-numbing outlet. Scheduled programming abounds, and worse, feeling like our kids need to keep up, we register them in all of that programming. I think kids are so used to doing things in a structured manner that they don't know what to do with their free time. Every time we cannot give them a list of things to do. Sometimes they have to figure it out on their own. Studies have shown that sometimes it is okay for the kids to get bored. Boredom in children is common and something that every parent, teacher, and sane adult wants to avoid. We have all heard the old saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. So we expect that they should be busy all the time. But when they don't do anything and they come complaining us about the boredom, we have no answers. So we expend time, energy, and lots of cash trying to ensure that our child's mind doesn't become the devil's place of business. Research shows that constructive boredom in children is essential to their mental and emotional development. However, kids need the guidance of parents or other adults if their boredom is to be constructive and lead to creativity. So, why is boredom important? It helps the kids to think out of the box. It fosters their creativity. Along with this, there are many more advantages of boredom. They learn problem solving. They develop an internal stimulus instead of seeking external help. Boredom forces the child to enjoy simple pleasures. Pretend play is a classic example which leads us to the next point. It not only boosts their creativity, but it also fosters their imagination abilities. They might discover new hobbies or interests, you never know. They learn to think on their own, figuring out ways to keep themselves occupied. Boredom sometimes gets uncomfortable, which pushes them to try new things. So they are less likely to whine and complain when they know the alternatives to entertain themselves. Win-win, right? For both the parent and the kid. It teaches them socializing skills. They learn to interact with the world in a much matured and clear manner. When you take them out in a park instead of them watching TV at home, they are more absorbed with what's going on around them. They see you communicating to other parents. That is a teachable moment. Boredom is not always pleasant. Obviously, when you don't want it, it is not comfortable for anyone. But remember, it teaches kids to get over it on their own. Researchers Karen Gasper and Brianna Middlewood of Pennsylvania State University found that constructively bored individuals seek out and engage in satisfying activities, much like happy people do. In an interview with Fast Company, Gasper says, boredom operates similarly to feeling happy or excited. It results in you trying to approach something that, in this case, is more meaningful or interesting. It encourages people to explore because it signals that your current situation is lacking. So it's kind of a push to seek out something new. Sometimes when they are bored, they may come up with something mind-blowing, something they have never tried before. Sometimes it fosters their curiosity to know more about it. And that's our second topic. 5 ways to channelize your kids' curiosity. Curiosity is a delicate little plant which, aside from stimulation, stands mainly in need of freedom. Many of you must have seen the Parle Ji ad which says, "बचपन से बड़ा कोई स्कूल नहीं, curiosity से बड़ी कोई teacher नहीं," which means there is no school bigger than childhood and no teacher other than curiosity. I'm sure many of my Indian friends must have seen this ad, and if you haven't, then you can Google it or check it out on YouTube. It's a very cute ad. We learn so much during our childhood, which serves as a strong foundation for our later stages. First 5 years are the most crucial period of any child's development phase. They are like wax. Kids are naturally busy and curious people. They don't have to think a lot of things to engage themselves. And any new thing can stimulate their curiosity. Like for a baby, simple things like moving trucks, blinds, curtains, flying birds can be fascinating. Why to go that far? Even their fingers, how they are separated but still they are on the same palm, can be intriguing. I remember my daughter used to look at the shadow of the blinds and she used to smile. Or how 2 wheels rotate and make the car move used to fascinate her. That's how they learn, right? Curiosity. Curiosity is the wick in the candle of learning. Kids have an instinct power of curiosity, but there is another side to this, and that is when their curiosity taking charge of their other activities. What if they are not able to focus on one particular activity because they are just so curious about the next project? There has to be some way to channelize their curiosity in such a manner that it will be their asset. So, here is a fraction from my side. Give them small tasks. When planning for the day's activities, don't tell them everything at once, but do give them an overall idea. Now start with small tasks, one at a time. Once they are done with that, then go to the next one. This will help them in focusing on one activity and at the same time having a curiosity that what's coming next. Talk to them about the importance of prioritizing. I agree this is easier with little older kids. As they grow, their studies, activities increases. If because of their curious nature they are not able to finish one thing effectively, then yes, it is the time for them to slow down and rethink. Communication is must. I always say you have to communicate with your child. Encourage your child to ask questions. I can understand sometimes it gets too much, especially with young kids, because they don't stop. They always have a questionnaire ready. It never ends. Why, how, when, what are their favorite words, but don't stop them from asking questions. They shouldn't feel that their questions are of no use. Let them take the front seat in solving problems. If they come up with any question, then show them the way, but let them figure it out on their own. That doesn't mean that you should entirely leave them on their own. No, you are there to help them, but let them have the satisfaction of finding the answers. Give them clues or hints. Kids are way smarter these days than we think. Older kids can reach on the internet. For young kids, you can sit with them. And yes, let them know that it's okay to make mistakes. That's how we all learn. Tell them it is okay to make mistakes. You all must have watched, I did and still do many times, Curious George. Why is he called Curious? I must say the man in the yellow hat has lots of patience. And lastly, apart from all these above points, always remember to encourage your child. Let them know how much you love them and appreciate their curiosity, their efforts in unfolding new concepts. Encouragement, trust, and love are the most valuable gifts that you can give to your child. So, next time, if your child says that I'm bored, don't jump in immediately to help them. Rather, ask them to make a list of things they like to do. Let them pick what they want to do at that moment. I said let them. That means you don't pick what they are supposed to do from the list. To get the kids into practice of handling boredom, you can have some unstructured playtime on a regular basis. This way, kids would know what they like to do. And they would also know that even if they are bored, then they have ways to entertain themselves. If the weather is good, ask them to go outside and play. You don't have to be actively involved in their plays all the time, because that way they are getting your company. So let them figure out what they want to do with their own time. You never know. They might come up with something really cool. So I hope you enjoyed today's topic. In the next episode, we will look into the area of extracurricular activities and why we should encourage our kids to draw with colors and express themselves. Till then, happy parenting. Goodbye.